My name is Lakshmi. I'm 32 years old. I'm a cisgendered woman who is straight. I'm a Tamilian and a true blue Bangalorean. I have a master's degree in sociology and another one in philosophy. And I also work for a mental health services organization in the capacity of a people operations associate. Yeah, that's
Okay.
about it. Yeah. So I'm a quadriplegic, which means that I'm paralyzed below the neck. I have no sensory or motor function below my shoulder region, but very restricted movement of my arms, which helps me get by to an extent. However, I am entirely dependent on my support system for my day to day needs. And all of this is the outcome of a car accident that I was in when I was 17 years old. I had a burst fracture at the C5 level of my vertebral column, which left my spinal cord severed and badly mangled. It's it's been quite a journey ever since, and I have to mention that no amount of thanks can adequately capture how grateful I am for having the most amazing support system comprising family, friends, colleagues, and more. They have all my love every day. It absolutely has, because for my bachelor's degree, I had to choose a course with subjects that involved theoretical application only and would not require me to apply myself practically in any form. Well, apart from submitting assignments and taking exams with the help of scribes, of course. And this trend continued even as I pursued my master's degrees. Fortunately, I was able to explore and strengthen some of my areas of interest in the process. And I think it's been a wholesome, sustaining endeavor, all in all. So I feel very comfortable discussing these things and encourage people to ask questions rather than make assumptions or even worse, not wonder or want to know at all. So I think it's very selectively portrayed. And I sometimes feel like all the caution surrounding these themes, which can be quite valid even, often puts distance in our understanding of it rather than serving to integrate and reconcile our understanding and acceptance of the same. So I think this is where the media has a very important responsibility when it comes to increasing awareness about disability and people with disabilities. Support services that I've used in the past and still do include physical therapy and caregiving. And I think there are a lot of agencies that have sprung up lately that have made a world of a difference. Accessibility and availability of these services have expanded, and that's a big change. I think it's
That's
also
great.
gotten more expensive as well, so that's
Oh,
another challenge. But I think personal support has always come in different forms for me. And I think the building of a network has truly helped a great deal. So if you ask for one particular form of personal support or service that has helped me uh, immensely, I can't really, pin down on just one. But this network that I've built over the years, I think that's really helped a lot. Hmm. So I think again, there are so many things, but fighting the urge to feel helpless uh, was difficult, right? And being patient with myself and with my emotions, that was another challenge. Being patient with and considerate of those around me. I mean, I've tried to be and I still do, but these are some of the things that, yeah, were
Okay.
very hard. So if I had to go in order, I think being able to breathe on my own, that was a big milestone. Uh, being able to cope with physiotherapy, that was another. Being able to eat and drink normally, being able to sit, being able to get a sense of when my bladder is full, that was a very important milestone. Being able to accommodate for movement on a wheelchair. And I think the most recent ones are being able to use a phone or a tablet and also being able to turn the pages of books, which I only started doing about 3, maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, these were some of the important milestones, I would say. My fear, oh wow, okay. Being quadriplegic and bedridden my whole life, I think that was a big fear. Not being able to do things the way I want to, being stuck in between living and not living. That's, yeah, this notion of being stuck in between the two, that was also very scary. My future. Like anybody else, it's scary at times. It seems manageable and even wonderful at other times. So that's how I see it. Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head right there. Um, so much has gotten easier with time, but emotional regulation, I suppose, which is the undercurrent of almost everything else, I think that has gotten easier over time. On a rough day. So I suppose it it begins with being patient with myself. I try to show myself a lot of compassion. I try to sit with the emotions, even if only to know how to do that properly in a given situation or on a particular day. Uh, I mean, I know that nothing has to come of it in order for it to pass, or I know that nothing has to come of it once it has passed, right? Sometimes you just have to let yourself be. I think these are the kind of thoughts that help me get through difficulties.
Right.
I mean, we've all had those kind of days, but
True.
no, I mean, I don't think it stopped me from relaxing, but I suppose what people think does play on all our minds, and I suppose it can make me anxious, but I don't get anxious about feeling anxious, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
it's manageable. It's manageable. Ah, this is a hard question to answer because I can only speak for myself basis my lived experience. Uh, I think this notion of self-perception and how we see ourselves, the effect it has on what we believe we are capable of or what we're not capable of is a big issue, right? With anybody who has a disability or who has disabilities, the way we see ourselves can be an issue. And additionally, there are concerns such as having the right kind of support system, access to facilities, financial support, emotional support, physical support, knowing your rights, living with a sense of dignity, gosh, which is dependent on so many factors, unfortunately. I think these are all issues that can somehow go ignored or unaddressed fully, even. I never thought I would be asked this, but yeah, I suppose try to process it one day at a time. This isn't something that can be accepted or rejected in an instant, right? That it doesn't happen that way. There is a lot of back and forth that is involved before you can even get familiar with trying to wrap your head around the notion of one day at a time. So yeah, I think pacing yourself is very important. And for the second part of your question was advice to loved ones, right? I think don't neglect self-care because the temptation will be there to do that. And also please trust that your dependent is stronger than what you believe. So actually my air mattress is more important to me than my wheelchair. The wheelchair comes next. Yeah. So I do have this electrically powered air mattress, which helps keep the pressure off my body where I don't develop pressure sores. And that becomes very important to me. So my air mattress comes first.
Right.
It's extremely comfortable to sleep on. This is a hard question to answer. I think it's the intention with which these things are spoken of that becomes very important because it's about pushing past our own comfort zones. Whether it's the person asking the questions or even the person answering them. So, who are we actually trying to protect by what we say or what we don't say in these conversations? That becomes very important to think about. Again, increasing awareness should be free of a certain kind of packaging that we assume will make the content seemingly more palatable to people. I think that becomes important to think about. What else? These exchanges, I think, need to be weaved into everyday conversations, right? It can't become something that is spoken of in an exclusive manner or in a way that brings attention to it in a certain way, right? It needs to become a part of our everyday conversation. Yes.